Do you believe in fairy tales? Stories we were told as kids, of beasts that lurk in the deep, dragons that guard ivy castles, and ancient scrolls of destiny. Waterfalls always whisper in our sleep. The mountains are connected, moving in sync, fairies twinkling in between. Wish upon a star and you may find peace. Well, the boy certainly did not, till he found something in the old library that made him a believer. The ancestors had raised him well. These fantasy tales are written in smoke in the sky, as the dirt of earth where we had been made. They had no time for the foreplay of fiction, and so they had learned to be honest with their reality. But late at night, there were fairy tales from long ago. One they told their children that would bring a better life. Ah, yes. There's an ivy castle in the west, and it sits on top of a beautiful mountain where the birds of freedom soar all around. It is believed that those of you who enter the castle are granted magical powers and knowledge beyond your wildest dreams. So will it be you? Will you beat out the rest? Will you bring honor to your family and your ancestors? So the boy started his journey to the Ivy Castle, with the sacrifices of his ancestors weighing on his back and wonder on his lips. How will I reach the Ivy Castle, he asked. What powers will it bestow on our kind? Is this a game, a fairy tale, a trick in the mind? Thankfully, the 3 letters from his journey that I hold here made it back home. Letter 1. Here, I have a letter. I have a letter from the boy who has surely made it to the Ivy Castle. Gather around. Let's read it together. Dear ancestors, thank you for bringing us to new lands. Here there are stable ladders and paved pathways. I took the journey while heeding your warning. If you work hard, the Ivy Castle is inevitable. If there's one rule you must follow, do not stray from the path. Good. I'm sorry, but I have strayed from the path. This journey showed me things I do not fully understand. I went through cities made of ice and cities made of gold, dark fogs where fairies live, and dangerous waters where the beasts are kind. And I found good people to walk alongside on this hike. But I regret to inform you that I did not take the ladders up to the Ivy Castle. Oh my god. I was climbing the ladders and walking the paths fine in the beginning, but in my routine steps of up and up, left foot, right foot, up and up, left foot, right foot, I lost focus in the sunlight and slipped due to my crooked foot. And I fell and fell and fell, scraping my heart, my ears, my eyes, and my lips onto a ledge where I could see that there were no ladders in sight. And I heard your voices. What standing rung are you on? Mr. Patel's son is on number 68 and juggling on his way up. Number 95. Keep that in mind. I felt guilt, shame, and disappointment that I had strayed from the path. And I wallowed for years in shame on a lonely ledge with no ladders. Until one day, I heard your voices again. No matter what, you must be brave. As we were when we traveled to new lands. When I finally looked up, I saw a groove in the rock that fit my 6 fingers perfectly. I swung my crooked foot into a crack that fit it perfectly, and I began to climb again. No ladders, but rocks jutting from the dirt where we were made. My weaknesses that brought my downfall became my strengths. God has made the mountain so every creature may find its way back to Him. I believe there are many paths up the mountain, and since you have brought us here to good lands, you have already given us beyond the powers of which you speak. The mountains climb into the skies, and there is magic on every hillside, so I pray that you do not pressure our own kind to chase ivy lines. I hope you tell the children that there is always a path for them, to trust their intuition for the next stone that only they can find. Ridiculous. He speaks of more fairy tales. He has not even reached the Ivy Castles, and therefore he has no claims to make. We will not speak of this. The boy grieved because his words meant nothing. He had no magical powers in their eyes. and so he decided that he would climb to the ivy castle. As he stumbled into its grounds, he wondered again, why did the ancestors care so much about the ivy castle? This second letter from the boy contained a diary entry. Yup. Alright. Now where on earth could this magic be? There's so many castles here. Is this the one? Okay. The castles aren't guarded by any dragons. Bummer, honestly. Oh, maybe it's the sunshine from the top of the hillside, so all can see me. About 50 more hills in the distance, and 3 more castles by the lake. This is gonna take a while. Oh no, of course. Idiot. It's in the glimmering of the ivy vines. Yeah, it has to be. This is what they talk about, right? Like, if I look at it from this angle? Yeah, it has to be. They've been growing for over 200 years. Like, if you look at it from this angle, maybe it's more obvious. It's in the gift shop. Is it this one? Or maybe this one? Magical armor to strike fear into the enemy? I don't get it. I knew it. This is probably just another fairy tale. Look at all this old stuff. The boy began to feel tired in the heat and exhaustion of the climb. He chose a good tree and fell asleep in the courtyard, wondering if he would ever find the magic that the ancestors spoke of. Oh fool, do you not know the reality of life back home where your ancestors came from? A bird flapped its wings in the thunder of the sky. They were ruled by an ancient kingdom, born into the bottom of a shifting mountainside, and so unfair was the kingdom that its people were only given monies if they employed themselves for bookkeeping and administration of the bureaucracy. The liberal arts, fictions, fairy tales, the creative arts, and all the like were reserved only for the elite. Even the religious tales of the time only gave a few individuals the power to read and write, and many were not privileged enough even to make a climb. So they longed for education, one that would set them free. The knowledge bestowed here would lead to a new nation, honor, and safe places on the mountainside. Do not be ungrateful. This is not a fairy tale, you swine. This is reality. The boy awoke to a breeze, ashamed that he had the privilege to wallow in good lands, but now he understood. The fairy tales he did not believe in came from a history of struggle, a land and a time he had not seen but whose repercussions echoed today. So he voyaged to the only place he believed old magic still existed, the library. I've been so stupid. I've been pressured all my life to climb the ladders and reach the castle and find a princess upon arrival, but these fairy tales are rooted in history. But I bet there's a path to undo it. There's gotta be something here. Well, it's a shame you don't steal beautiful things more often. There's plenty here. Okay, relax. We're not here to steal. Just help me look around. Alright, here. From Artes Liberalis, the Arts of Freedom. Fairy tales often began as oral stories, shared within communities and adapted over time to reflect values of those societies. Sounds like theft to me. Okay, but the ancestors only believe in their own fairy tales, just like I do mine. Well, the bluebird does sing. For many, for all. It's a cage, just needs to be surgically removed. Do you have anything practical, or will you always give me this song and dance? Okay, look, we're gonna need some Rockefeller money. I'm just saying, that's practical. But it's not just about you. There are many others with grim histories from their ancestors that have led to traditions, some of fear and some of love, and others more, children of the New World seeking paths of rock and ladder on mountainsides whose stories fall as fairy tales on fearful ears. Our old fairy tales are failing us. Well then, what are we to do? How do we find peace? Impossible. Wish upon a star. Alright, how about we steal from the past? A couple heists? Calm down. What if we just ask Petey? No use. We're chained to the trauma of our past. The bluebird is caged, but just follow what the ancestors say. Just keep it simple. Buddy, just start building the empire like Rockefeller. This is ridiculous. Our traditions are still tied in metal chains to the trauma of our past, from the malice of the old kingdom, and fed by our own fears. That turned into only one path of black and white success, blue and brown survival, endless love and fear. Would you blame a child all their lives for not living up to a fairy tale? They must change. But would you blame a parent for giving a child a fairy tale to believe in? So maybe we need new fairy tales. Wait, who are you? Doesn't matter. In a time where the entire world feels absurd, the knowledge in that book is true. In this magical castle, we need new stories to make sense of it. But I'm just one guy, and it's not just my story. We'll need a lot more storytellers. Bro, who is this guy? I'm a contractor. For the artists. And for the ancestors. Oh, like a double agent? Like Agent Thank God. On cue. It's time to get to work. If we do need new stories, we can't be in this castle. I'll go to the Forgotten Island in New York and learn how to make a bag. It's a perfect cover. A ladder for the ancestors and a path for the artists. Knowledge is power, and with great power comes great, you know the rest. So we'll give away what we learn with a professional touch for new fairy tales that we tell together. I'll send the children back home my first letter. Do you believe in fairy tales? Stories we were told as kids.